So one of my favorite parts about working at Coastkeeper is that we approach the protection of these habitats and these resources in really dynamic ways. And it's all really community based and for the sake of having clean water for everyone. And when we say everyone, we mean everyone, including the animals in the habitat and of course all people.
The thing that's different about Coastkeeper than any other organization is the fact that it isn't just an enforcement agency or an enforcement environmental group. That's not our point, that's not our objective. And our objective is to teach what is correct in keeping the waters clean, helping not only children, but businesses too.
In Orange County, being born and raised, that our waters are much more clean than they were, 40 years ago. And I attribute a lot of that to Orange County Coastkeeper.
So what we've done is establish a separate program, Inland Empire Waterkeeper, with an office and staff in the Inland Empire to address the issues there. Just that, it's an important component to work upstream. So not only is it, there's about 2 million people that live in the area there, so they deserve and need our services, but also what's upstream ends up down in Orange County.
Expose them to different professionals and career opportunities within this field, because that's something that as high school students, they have no idea what's out there yet, right? And so if we have a chance to expose them to something, that kind of really lights that spark. That's another goal that we hope to achieve through Whales. And then Kids Care is our program that is targeted towards elementary school students. It started as a marine debris awareness and service learning program where they learn about the impacts of marine debris, particularly plastic pollution, how that moves through our watershed, and then they have a chance to do something about it through a beach cleanup.
The regulatory agencies are maybe doing their best, but their best really isn't enough. It's not even close to enough. So we're actually the primary method of enforcement, and our enforcement actions, because they're under the Federal Clean Water Act, we have additional tools that are available to us that the state doesn't have. So we have higher civil penalties, we have a better ability to negotiate injunctive relief.
Cleanup OC is a program where we host both public and private cleanups throughout Orange County, typically between Bolsa Chica and San Clemente down to the south. And in that, we pick up trash along the shorelines, we motivate community members, we get both private organizations to have team building experiences with their staff, as well as getting a lot of public involvement in this issue.
There's a couple different things that these species do for our waters. The first of which is that they actually help clean the water. They, especially our oysters, will filter water and remove some of the particulates, some of the sediments, as well as some of the pollution, which therefore just automatically cleans our water. For eelgrass, it has the potential to kind of slow down sediments and attenuate waves, anywhere from real, just ocean waves, as well as to wake waves created by boats. And so that protects our shores from erosion.
Sanders, no. Commissioner Rivas?
No.
Rivas, no. Commissioner Wilson?
No.
Wilson, no. Chair Brownsie? No. Brownsie, no. Opposed, unanimous.
So the Poseidon-Huntington Beach Desalination Project is one of Coastkeeper's all-time biggest victories. We've been working on this project since 2000, so it's been over 20 years. But the real intense action has been in the last few years. So during those last 2 years, we were a leader in a large coalition of environmental groups opposing the project, including every environmental name you can think of.
Breaking news, a major oil spill shutting down the shoreline in Huntington Beach.
We're going to begin with that oil spill off the coast of Southern California,
blackening the beaches of some of California's most iconic beach towns and threatening wildlife.
This toxic spill posing a serious threat to plants and wildlife in an already fragile ecosystem.
The first weekend of October 2021 was somewhat nightmarish. Woke up to news that there was an oil spill in Huntington Beach. We saw pictures of tar-laden shorelines, waves lapping our sand that were black and oiled. Birds, including federally listed species, were oiled and taken into care centers for care. Fish were dying. It's something that, you heard happen in the Gulf of Mexico years past. You've heard about in Santa Barbara, but for some reason, Orange County, it felt insular. It felt like a place where something like this wouldn't happen. So in 2022, we hosted the Retiring Offshore Rigs workshop, which was incredible. It was an opportunity to bring Indigenous leaders, policymakers, regulators, elected officials, industry representatives, other environmental groups into the fold, into the conversation, and get everyone's perspective on when can we decommission, how does it work, what options are available, and a whole host of topics. It was really an awesome day to be a part of. All the videos are up on our YouTube, and that was a big heavy lift for the early 2022.
That was so much fun. It was very stressful, which helped because that means I did not have to worry about sleeping through my alarm because the stress woke me up. But I think Kids Ocean Day was really special. It was my first time, doing any of it, of course, but I kind of took lead on creating the aerial art, so I was very lucky to have a lot of staff that came in the morning at 6 a.m. the second that state parks opened to help us set up the grid for the aerial art. And then just really seeing how many students were there and just like how much fun they were having was really nice. Typically we have to spend, this balance of having fun, but behavior management, because we need everybody to be safe. We can't have fun if nobody's safe.
Having Orange County Coastkeeper at the U.S. Open of Surfing was very surreal. This is a huge event, probably the biggest in Huntington Beach. This is the first time they've had it also since 2019. So we were out there, it was very surreal to see us next to these huge names, having huge surfers coming by, getting involved with us, seeing hundreds, maybe thousands of people every day, getting more familiar with Orange County Coastkeeper. It was one of the best outreach events we could possibly hope for.
Yeah, so the real victory for 2022 is Coastal Cleanup Day. And in that, I act as regional coordinator between California Coastal Commission and our 30 plus sites, 40 plus sites in Orange County. We're working on getting back to what it was like before the pandemic, but it's an evolving process. Each organization has its own internal policies, and each site has its own specific needs. So we're really excited that we were able to have that event, have it with our community members getting out, getting back involved and picking up trash in the largest public volunteering event in the world. It's always exciting to be out there and get people involved and then to introduce them to Coastkeeper's other programs so that we can keep their involvement with our organization going year round.